And we are back with some Lamplight City. Yes, we are hot on the case of who burned up the old rich lady. But we got to find out the accelerant. We got to find this oil. It could be the crazy squirrel lady, or it could be this dude. We haven't talked to this dude yet. But we also got to get some more dirt from here. Let's see if we can't get anything else out of her real quick before we go meet Roger DeVay.
I may have more questions for you later.
I can scarcely contain my excitement.
Because they may know of this DeVay guy.
Did Usher give us the wrong address? This should be 775, but there's no building here.
Is this guy painting that portrait?
Hey, that's just like the one we had when I was a boy. Good old Rusty. He served us well. Yeah, those aren't half bad. Too bad they aren't finished. I wonder if they're going to be used to keep the fire going. Yeah, those aren't half... I used to draw funny pictures of rich people on walls too when I was a kid.
Mr.
Never did a lick
Rich.
of good, but it would always make me feel better. These aren't in such bad shape, really. As far as the chum goes, this is one of the nicer areas.
Alright, let's talk to this dude.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Is this 775 Pumblechook Place?
yeah, it would be if the building were still here.
Oh, I see. Might I ask you a few questions?
You can ask.
Who are you?
What's your name, sir?
Me? I'm Herman. Herman Shaw.
How long have you been living here?
Oh, I've been here for ages. Since before the building got condemned and was torn down. They pretty much forced us out, you see, but a couple of us came back and set up here. Seemed like a good idea. And I had nowhere else to go. That's not so bad, except for when it rains. And I guess we'll have to bundle up a bit more when it gets cold. But other than that, it's like the place was still standing.
There's some of that classic chum ingenuity. Or maybe it's just delusion.
Do you know Roger DeVay?
Know him? Of course I know him. He lives here with me.
He does?
Well, whenever he decides to come home, anyway. Rest of the time, I suspect he finds a way to sleep at his job. Me, I do the same, except I can't stand the smell of the horses.
Do you know where Mr. DeVay works?
Nah, he never told me.
What happened to this place? Why was it condemned?
I don't think he's going to
Building
know
was
anything
old.
about the lady.
In a pretty sad state, so the inspectors came by and said it was unfit for living. There was a whole lot of us here. Most were able to pick up and go, but a few of us stayed.
Why don't you go to a workhouse?
You wouldn't be asking if you'd ever been inside one. It's wall-to-wall people, children crying, sick folk coughing all over you.
But there's plenty of that out here, too.
Well, sure, but out here, there's freedom. Nobody telling you what to do except the odd copper. Not even many of them in this neighborhood. Besides, this is my home. Just because it's missing a few walls don't mean I ought to abandon it.
Guess he's got a true.
You look somewhat
Kinda
familiar.
true.
Didn't I see you protesting outside the Harris construction yard?
Yeah, I was there. What of it?
Were you affected by the Ligeia disaster?
Well, nobody I know was killed, if that's what you mean.
So, why were you protesting the construction of the Lenore?
That Devons fella promised he'd buy us a meal if we stood in the crowd. And for a free meal, I'd do just about anything.
Okay. That might come in
Do
handy
you know
later.
a woman named Desiree Lathan?
Nah, I don't know many women. They're not too fond of my company. Well, I don't understand why. I always try to be a perfect gentleman. Guess it just don't got the charm. I've asked
Of course,
Roger to give
right on
me a few
cue.
pointers. He's a big hit with ladies, you know.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. He no sooner looks at them than they're falling at his feet. Real natural, that one. Never brings back here, though. Always winds up staying with him, getting a free meal and a soft bed out of it.
Yeah, see, we
Ah,
needed this
well,
information
The
for ADDY.
bohemian lifestyle ain't for everyone. Maybe someday my luck will change.
I'm sure it will change the day he decides to take a bath.
I thank you for your time.
Maybe give us a shilling or two for the trouble?
I'll consider it.
Best not to bar. Yeah, those are. I wonder.
Okay, now let's go get Adelaide to hook up the old lady.
Hey, Addie. Here I am.
Hello.
I smell better.
You've mucked up things enough with her for now. Best to leave her be until some time passes.
Oh, did I fuck it up because I complimented her?
You've mucked up things enough with her for now. Best to leave her be until some time passes.
Mucked everything up. All right, guys. We'll be back. When we get back, you ain't gonna watch me replay this whole case again, basically. When we get back to where we were. All right, I think we are right where we were, but now we can go to Adelaide. I may have screwed something up here with old Herman, but I don't want to go back and fix it because I don't know how big of a deal it is. We'll find out right here.
I'm here.
Welcome.
Addie?
What is it?
About your...
What about it?
Right. These are the things I want you to ask her about.
So you want me to take off about an inch, but keep enough for your curls?
She's already
Yes,
fucking
that's
drunk.
Right. You know how I like it, Adelaide.
Has anyone special caught your eye recently?
Ha! No, I think I'm getting too old for most of the young pups I see around these days. Besides, marriage has proved to be more trouble than it's worth. I'm finished with that whole game. Although there was one fellow who came into the supper club today.
Yeah.
Pity he was only interested in asking questions.
Oh?
Yes, the dark brooding type. Sleepless nights etched all over his face. Still handsome, though. I invited him to join me for a drink, but he refused. Said it was too early to be drinking.
Is that so?
Life is too short to be so uptight.
Probably for the best he didn't join you for that drink then.
That's true. Good thing I didn't do that.
How was the Grand Dame's ball? Was your hairdo a hit?
Oh, it was. All those other old biddies were practically fainting with jealousy. Truth be told, though, the evening was rather dull. Just the regular crowd of wags and gossips. You know, sometimes I envy people like you, Adelaide.
People like me, huh?
People like me.
Yes, you know, ordinary people. Being a member of high society can be so draining. One quite lacks a sense of purpose, of ordinary honest usefulness that comes from a good day's labor.
Have you done much of that sort of labor yourself, madam?
What? No, of course not.
Ah.
But I imagine it must be quite good for the soul, quite grounding. Just being what you are. No airs or pretense. Oh, you've missed a bit there on the left ear. Do be sure it comes out even.
Certainly, madam. I was reading in the paper this morning about what happened with Desiree Lathan. Did you hear about that?
Oh, such a tragedy. Poor Desi. We hadn't talked in a long time, but how terrible to think of her dying in such a horrible way.
My condolences.
Thank you, dear.
Did you and Desiree used to be friends?
Oh, we were like sisters at one point.
What happened?
What happened?
What else? A man got involved.
You were both after the same man?
No, quite the contrary. We both enjoyed being unattached and had vowed to keep it that way. The spinster sisters, we used to call ourselves. But I fell for a man a few years ago. We got married, and Desiree stopped speaking to me.
That's a shame.
Yes, especially considering the marriage only lasted a few brief months. I lost both my husband and my best friend.
That's what you get, bitch.
I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned in that.
I heard someone mention that Desiree had her portrait painted recently.
Yes, I heard that too. I think it was Caroline who told me. Yes, that was it, Caroline. She was looking for a portrait artist and told me Desiree had found one. Roger DeVay, I think she said his name was.
Roger DeVay? Sounds mysterious. Who is he?
Well, I don't know about mysterious. He's just an artist.
That's who we're
Not
looking
a very
for.
good one either, from what I hear.
He didn't do a good job on the portrait?
Oh, no, he did fine. I just meant he hasn't really taken off. His paintings aren't worth very much, you see. But Desiree took a liking to him very quickly. Even went as far as giving him an extra key to her apartment.
Interesting.
If there was anything more going on between them, I couldn't say. But she could have done a lot better, if you ask me. I mean, he's barely even an artist now. I heard he took a teaching position at the university. Now, who would want their likeness immortalized by a lecturer?
I see. Well, I hope
All
he
right.
makes it
To
in
the
the world
university,
someday.
we all shall go.
Miracles may happen.
I have to say, your musical selection for today is lovely.
It's nice to know someone like you can appreciate some of the finer points of
Oh, God,
poetry.
what a snob.
In case you were wondering, the piece is the Fourth Symphony by a composer named Theophilus von Wagner.
Theophilus von
Yes,
Wagner.
it's refreshing to hear the Fourth Symphony for a change. Most people know von Wagner for his Fifth Symphony or his Lute Concerto in D minor.
Oh, you know von Wagner?
Although I admit he isn't one of my favorite Baroque composers, I can appreciate what he brought to the movement. I'm more in favor of Scaravaldi. His development of the Concerto Grosso makes
Get her,
for a
Addie.
much richer musical tapestry.
Get her.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, well, perhaps so.
Do you have any favorites among Scaravaldi's works?
His First Symphony is quite riveting.
Do you mean his Concerto for Mandolin? He didn't have a First Symphony as such.
Well, yes. That's what I meant.
She's got no clue.
As much as I enjoy chatting, perhaps you should concentrate on what you're doing, dear.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Quite chilly out today, isn't it?
Yes, a good day for spending indoors.
Probably means we'll be getting an earlier winter.
It's a good
Winter
thing
is
I bought
coming.
a new set of coats then.
Good. I think that's all finished.
Thank you, Adelaide. It was a pleasure, as always.
Likewise, Miss Robinow. I'll see you next week.
She gets a haircut every week.
And she didn't tip very well either.
I'm sorry, dear. She sounds positively dreadful.
No more than the other Gascon Grand Dames. I just hope you managed to get something useful from that.
It did. It did. Report to Epton, declared as regulation test. Nope. Not yet.
I'm
We
heading
gotta
out
find
on
that
full-
oil. We haven't asked her about the...
Nothing more to... All the tools an artist would ever need. Brushes, pieces of canvas, paints. There's also several jars full of clear liquid. Interesting.
I want one of those jars.
Huh. This is linseed oil. It's used as a drying agent for oil paintings. It would be a good idea to take a sample of this, Miles, especially now that nobody's looking.
I think that's all we needed.
All the tools and a handy Where dreams go to die. I'm guessing it's locked, but it probably only contains more art supplies we don't care about.
It's up the naked
Well,
dude.
So much for modesty. Ooh, is it warm in here or is it just me?
That's right, he's gay.
These aren't half bad. Nice to know the students aren't completely wasting their time here.
Excuse me.
Mr. DeVay.
Yes.
Are you Roger DeVay?
I am.
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I have some questions for you if you aren't too busy.
All right, we can't screw
Will
this
this
up.
take long? This isn't exactly the best time.
It shouldn't, no.
All right then, quickly.
How long have you been teaching
Look
at
at
this
this
university?
smooth Rico Suave.
About 4 years now.
And do you also earn money with your painting?
Not of late. I haven't sold a painting in some time. But my salary from the university is enough for the time being. Perhaps someday I'll be able to devote the proper focus to my painting.
Interesting. It's not true.
Do you know Desiree Lathan?
Desiree? Yes, of course I know her. What happened to her was just awful.
Indeed. My condolences, Mr. DeVay. What can you tell me about her?
She was a wonderful woman. Sharp.
Okay, so
full
we
of
know
life,
he's got a key to her
extremely
place.
witty. I only knew her for a short time, but I consider myself
she's the
lucky
benefactor
to have
of her
had
will.
her as a friend.
How did you two meet?
We were introduced at a party and became fast friends. It's hard to believe she's really gone.
You painted Desiree's portrait, is that right?
Yes, I finished it just a few months ago.
Do you often do commissioned work?
Sometimes, but this wasn't exactly a commission. More like a gift.
You mean you weren't paid for it?
No, I didn't do it for money. It was an honor just to paint her.
I see. And did she like the result?
Well, she had it hanging in her bedroom and not in her attic, so I assumed she liked it well enough.
Yeah,
It
that's...
was a rather nice portrait, I must admit.
Oh, so you've seen it?
Indeed, I have. Regrettably, I can't comment on the likeness, never having seen the subject in life.
Ah, yes. Well, she used to say that standing in front of it was like looking into a mirror. I tried my best to do her justice.
Okay, so he hasn't
Do
bullshit
you have
us
any
yet.
information regarding Desiree's death?
No, none at all. It came as a total shock. I heard she was burned to death. Oh, is that true?
It is.
It's really just unthinkable.
Do you know of anyone who might have wished harm upon her?
No, everyone loved her. To think someone could be capable of doing that to her, it just makes me feel sick.
Is it true that Miss Lathan recently
I don't
changed
feel like
her
we're getting
will to
anything
make
out
you
of
her
this.
beneficiary?
Why would he do
Yes, you can imagine my surprise.
My understanding is she left you quite a significant sum.
I don't see how that's any of your business, but yes, she did. I'm very lucky. Oh, I see what you're getting at. You're thinking I killed her for her money. Is that it?
I never said anything of the sort, Mr. DeBay.
No, but I can see it in your eyes. Look, Desiree considered me the son she never had, and she was like my second mother. I would never, ever even think of doing
Second
something
mother?
so horrid.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't.
I'll let you get back to your class.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta go test that oil.
Now that we've got some linseed oil, it's probably worth testing. Well, I'll be damned. We've got ourselves a match. I wonder if Edwards knows anything pertinent about this stuff.
We gotta connect them.
Pardon me, Edwards.
What else is it used for?
Yes,
What do you know about linseed oil?
it's an oil made from flaxseed that has many uses. Most commonly, it's used to dry things like varnish or oil paints. Some people even eat it for health benefits. I hear it goes well with a bit of quark.
Quark.
And it's flammable?
As most oils are, yes. Where are you going with this?
The oily residue on that rag is linseed oil.
Fascinating.
But I found no trace of anything used to light a fire at the crime scene.
Uh-oh, he's getting that gleam in his eye.
That's what I want to hear.
Wait just a moment. Linseed oil. Of course! Anytime linseed oil is used, extreme caution must be taken to dry cure rags that may be soaked in it. That's because when linseed oil dries and oxidizes, it releases heat. A pile of rags soaked in linseed oil in a confined space runs the risk of spontaneously combusting.
How long would this take exactly?
A few days, at least.
Interesting. It's a rather uncertain means of murder, but it's excellent for appearing accidental.
It's certainly not the most far-fetched conclusion you've ever come to.
Thanks. That's all I needed to know for the moment.
Anytime, Fordham.
Report to Upton, declare Desiree Latham. Accused Margaret Andrews. We fucked something up. There's no way.
Probably best not to.
Squirrel Lady got anything for us?
Nothing more. Nothing else to.
You can't even go to the law firm anymore.
Nothing. Rat. Nothing.
I'm afraid.
All right. Just a pile of.
All right, well, I think we screwed something up, 'cause I don't think either one of them did it. We don't really have any proof that the crazy lady did it.
May I ask you?
Sure.
Tell me about Roger's artistic pursuits.
Well, not much to tell, really. He used to paint all the time when he had his studio in the building that used to be here. He was good at it, too. Shame nobody ever bought his paintings. All that's left now are those two unfinished ones against the back wall there. We used the rest of his spare canvas to make the tent.
How did Roger feel about his paintings not selling?
Well, how do you think? Made him madder than the March air.
Okay.
Didn't do a very good job of hiding his displeasure either. At least not around me. He always used to say he'd find some way or another to make the money he deserved.
Odd. He told me he was content with the salary he got from his teaching job.
That's a load of bunkum if I ever heard it. Truth is, old Roger's about as poor as Job's turkey. He'd do anything to make a quick crown.
Well, now, that's certainly.
There we go.
I thank you for your time.
Well, it's fitting that Mr. DeVay is an artist, because I think he's painted us a pretty clear picture of what happened to Ms. Latham. Yeah, those are. I wonder.
Can we go talk to him again now?
Probably best.
All right, let's roll
Got a
with it.
moment up to-
That's who we
Yes?
think did it. He had the evidence.
I'm done with.
Oh?
She was murdered by Roger DeVay, a professor of art at the university, in order to claim her inheritance. DeVay befriended Miss Latham and even painted her portrait, but his failure to establish a name for himself and to earn a living from his art was driving him mad. Miss Latham cared for him as a son and recently changed her will, naming Roger as her sole beneficiary. Roger knew of this and decided killing Miss Latham was the best way to solve his financial troubles.
And how did he manage to do so?
Desiree had given him a key to her apartment. While she was out at the Grand Dame's ball, he entered and left a pile of rags soaked in linseed oil under her bed. She
Yeah.
arrived home drunk and passed out, unaware that the rags were growing hotter by the minute. Eventually, the oil burst into flames, burning the rag pile as well as poor Miss Latham.
How awful. Well, I'll certainly pass along the information. What an astounding series of events.
We got him.
Although I'm sorry you won't be able to gloat to Snelling that you solved the case before his detectives did.
I can find other means of amusement, I think.
Good work, Fordham. As usual, I'll send anything else your way as soon as I get it.
There it is.
Roger DeVay?
Yes, what is it?
You're under arrest.
You're under arrest for the murder of Desiree Lathan.
Oh, I see.
Come with me. We need to ask you some questions at the station. And you up there, make yourself decent, would you?
You like looking at the dick?
Dearest, I'm back.
There you are. I was starting to get worried you wouldn't make it home in time.
In time? In time for what?
Oh, we forgot.
For dinner at the Rutherfords. I told you about it the other night, don't you remember?
I'm terribly sorry, dear. It must have slipped my mind.
How you haven't yet been presented a prize for Husband of the Year is beyond me.
There's still time for you to get ready if you hurry.
Oh, we can't, huh?
Why not just reschedule? I'm sure they'll understand.
They're leaving on a 2-month trip to Europe next week. This will be the last chance to see them for ages.
Then go ahead without me. Please give Anne and Joseph
come
my
on.
regrets.
So you're just going to sit here at home by yourself?
I'll probably just catch up on my reading or try and get some sleep. Maybe I'll get around to reading that story in Brentwell's.
All right, suit yourself. I shouldn't be home too late, but don't wait up.
Why
Have a
wouldn't we
wonderful
just go?
time, my love.
We didn't have a choice to go.
Ah, alone at last.
That sounds creepy.
If only I were.
Careful what you wish for, Miles. You just might get it.
Seeing as I won't, I think another trip to the Angels in order.
Oh, you're gonna break your word in addition to lying? That's
Yeah.
Nonsense. I'll be home in no time. It'll just be a quick drink to calm my nerves and get you out of my hair.
bold. I think I need a machete for that fool.
Very funny.
Yeah, we do need a haircut.
So, that last case was really something. Classic example of murder for money. Such a shame. Perhaps with Roger in jail, Miss Lathan's riches will go to a more worthy cause, like feeding the poor. You're not listening to me, are
Nope.
you? Oh, right, you've had 2 drinks already. Fine, I'll just see myself out.
Copper for your thoughts, Miles?
Oh, I was just thinking about a story I read tonight in Brentwell magazine. It's called The Dissembling Mechanism. Are you familiar with it?
Afraid not. Brentwell isn't really my type of magazine.
It isn't mine either. But my wife suggested I read it, and it struck a bit of a chord.
Go on then. What's it about?
The story concerns an inventor, a woman who's the greatest mind of the modern age. In this story, ethericity's been discovered, and the inventor understands and uses it in her work.
Ah, one of those fantastic speculative stories.
What's this all
Anyway,
about?
this inventor spends her time creating mechanical wonders, the likes of which the world has never seen. The inventor has a husband whom she loves dearly. One day, he meets a tragic end in a carriage accident. The inventor is devastated.
All too common in these types of stories.
Yes, well, as I mentioned before, the inventor is the greatest mind
What
of
does
the
this
modern
have to
age.
do with anything?
She spends weeks researching a way to bring him back. She toils for hours, forgetting to eat, neglecting her duties, forgetting her friends. Finally, she finds a way to repair his broken body with mechanical implants. Once that's done, she harnesses the power of ethericity and revives him from death.
Why would she go and do something like that?
Because the inventor's obsession was fueled by guilt. She felt responsible for the death of her loved one and would stop at nothing to make things right.
Oh,
But why? She had nothing to do with the accident, did she?
did she?
Guilt is a strange emotion, Patrick. It can easily trump rationality, believe me. In any case, things don't go well. The inventor brings her husband back, and at first he's confused, wild. With time and patience, she tries to ease him back into the world of the living. But gradually, she comes to realize that this person she's brought back isn't her husband. Not as he was, anyway. When she understands what she's done, she flies into a fit of madness, and she kills both her creation and herself.
That's
How
fucked.
tragic.
She also leaves behind a note which closes off the story. I can still recall the exact words. This dissembling mechanism hath not the vital breath of he whom I loved. It is not him. I have formed but a vain, mocking shadow of what is forever lost.
That's one hell of a story, Miles.
As I said, it resonated with me quite deeply.
Same here. I can tell you, I'm glad that ethericity crap hasn't been discovered, or else this sort of thing won't just be in stories. You mark my words.
That's true.
Yes, I suppose that's one way of interpreting it. I should probably be getting home.
One last gin for the road?
Ah, hell, why not?
Oh, you're dumbass.
It's later than I thought. Addie must be asleep.
Miles,
Ooh.
I thought you said you were staying in
Ooh.
tonight. What happened to you?
Nothing. I went out for a bit and lost track of time.
Miles, you're dead drunk.
No, of course I'm not.
Don't you dare keep lying to me, Miles. It's obvious. I can smell it on you.
Busted.
But I'm not drunk. I only had 2, I think.
I don't care how many you had. You promised me this wouldn't happen again. Where exactly did you go tonight anyway?
I was at the Angel.
The Angel? But why would you go there?
I suppose I was just trying to relive the old days.
So why didn't you tell me you were going?
You were
I
gone.
don't know.
Miles, this has to stop. First it was that sleep medicine, now you've started to go out drinking yourself into a stupor after you explicitly promised me you wouldn't again.
I kind of
It's
did.
clear that you've been keeping something from me and using drugs and drink as a way to avoid dealing with it.
No, really, it's just...
No, Miles. I'm tired of the lies. I heard what you said when I came home from my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. God forbid Adelaide ever find out about something. I wanted to think I'd imagined it, so I let it go. But I've come to realize just how wrong I was.
Addie, please.
Enough. No more excuses, no more lying. I just want to hear the truth. What is it you're not telling me?
We gotta tell her.
I can't tell you, Addie. I'm sorry, but if I do, you'll never believe me.
Do you know what I really don't believe, Miles? The fact that you think it necessary to lie to your own wife. Am I to believe that for all these years you've never felt you could trust me?
Of course not. It's just that this is different.
A lie is a lie, Miles. And the bottom fact is you've been lying to me for months. Perhaps I was too naive.
We gotta wrap
too
this up.
distracted to see what was really going on, but you finally opened my eyes. This can't go on. I refuse to let it go on.
What are you saying?
Get out, Miles.
Oh, damn.
And don't
We
come
just got
back
booted.
until you're ready to tell me the truth.
Addie, you don't mean that.
I do mean it, Miles. I don't care where you spend the night, but it's not going to be here. If you ever decide you want to tell me what's going on, I'll listen. But until then, just go. Oh.
At least she's crying. All right, we got to go. We'll pick it up right from here next time. I am out of here.